precedent F8s for international.
This is insane. This is really insane.
Yo aquí pago 150, pero yo tengo una casa con 3 cuartos.
Hello Range Nation! Today's episode of Trail Tales takes us internationally to the wonderful country of Costa Rica. I joined my friend Nick there for a very last minute surf trip and really focused on filming the 4th day of the trip. And I did a poor job of providing context and kind of explaining what our plans were. A lot of that is because we were kind of taking the day as it came at us, but I'll provide a little bit better context of what's going on. So we ended up waking up in the morning and we surfed right out front of our little cottage thing. And then we popped on some quads and took about a 30 to 45 minute drive on a jungle road to the town of Montezuma. We did a little waterfall hike just outside of that town. Hopped on the quads, came back to the town we were staying in, which was Santa Teresa. And on our way back, we checked out a surf break that we were interested in surfing. Eventually came back to surf that surf break. And then later that night, we grabbed dinner, grabbed drinks, and then our evening was rained out because it is the wet season. So without further ado, let's roll the clips. Day 4, getting ready for the first surf session.
Dawn patrol before big day.
Probably also worth mentioning that because of how last minute this trip was, I didn't have a chance to buy this nifty little mouth mount that I've been using for my GoPro ever since. So I wasn't able to get any footage of us surfing because I would have almost certainly dropped the camera. On the road to Montezuma.
Yeah, little drive over the peninsula, some river crossings in the middle of the jungle. You.
Hour of dirt roads later, we're at a waterfall in the middle of the jungle.
That one's pretty good.
Back from Montezuma and checking out the surf break that we're going to try and get on this afternoon. Oh yeah.
It's gonna go for sure.
It looks good, so now we're grabbing boards and heading back here. Getting ready to head back to the break, bringing rash guard, range bar, GoPro, shirt, flip-flops and a board, and a water bottle. Tide's going back out, swell's getting a lot smaller, and I don't have a mount for the GoPro, so I can't really film trying to catch some waves, but been a really fun session out here. Really good conditions for me to continue to learn. Nick's caught quite a few. Been seeing some sea turtles and also caught golden hour out here. But thought I'd bring you guys out to give you a little 360 of what it looks like out here, because it's pretty cool. Probably putting this back in my pocket and trying to catch something small back into shore. And then once Nick's done, we're cruising back to town. Post-session meal bar before we go.
The bar.
It is the wet season.